Konami's newest set, Maze of Muertos, is looking to be one of the best sets of 2026. And I have a feeling that it just might be because they have unveiled the new Pumpking support that will be in that set. Who would have ever thought, right? Pumpking, the King of Ghosts, and an older card from like, what was it like? Shit, like what? Fucking Metal Raiders over 20 years ago. Who would have ever imagined that that card would be getting its own archetype? Who would have ever imagined? Certainly not me. But we are going to be talking about the new cards that will be in the set. And I believe that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 cards to talk about. And I am not going to waste any time. I am just going to get straight into it. Because this is going to be one interesting video that we are going to be doing. So let's get down to it. Kicking things off, we got Pumpkin, the King of Grave Ghosts. Excuse me. Which is a 6-star dark zombie with 1950 attack, 2600 defense, and the effects read as follow. You can reveal this card in your hand, set one Call of the Haunted from your deck or grave, and if you do, discard one card. That set card can be activated this turn. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon a 1 level 6 zombie from your deck, except with 1950 attack. Also, you cannot special summon from the hand or grave for the rest of the turn except for zombies. You can only use each effect once per turn. You're basically getting Call of the Haunted and excuse me. What's even more interesting is that in Go format and in Edison format, Call of the Haunted is nasty. You literally get to summon a monster back from your graveyard, which is nuts. This card basically gives you Call of the Haunted turn 1. And the best part is that you can actually activate it on the same turn that you set it. So if you do have a level 6 monster in your graveyard and you were able to summon out a level 6 from your hand, you can go Call the Haunted, summon back the 6-star that's in your graveyard, and you essentially have yourself a rank 6 summon. This card right here, Grave Ghost, is literally a 1-card rank 6 summon by using Call of the Haunted turn 1. Literally, that's literally all you do. Excuse me. Which is kind of cracked. My guy. Kind of cracked. Next up, we have Army of the Haunted, which is kind of funny because the artwork is basically the 3 monsters that Bones used in his duel against Joey, which is kind of funny. But it is a 6-star dark zombie with 2400 attack, 0 defense, and the effect reads the effects read as follows. If you control Call of the Haunted and this card is in your hand or grave, you can special summon this card. You can special summon this card. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target 1 Call of the Haunted in your grave, set it. You can only use each effect once per turn. Enough said. I mean, literally, it's a Cyber Dragon. Enough said. Like, literally, that's all it is. So hypothetically speaking, let's say for example, Grave Ghost and Army are both in your hands. Right? So the idea would be to reveal Grave Ghost, set Call the Haunted from your deck, discard Army. Army's effect triggers, and you get to bring it back from your graveyard, and you instantly have yourself a rank 6 summon. So again, it's, as I said, Grave Ghost is a one card rank 6 summon. And what's even more cool is that if you excuse me. Excuse me. If you detach a material from one of your Xyz monsters turn 1, you can chain call the haunted that was already set that turn, bring back that detached material, and you can go into yet a second rank 6. So your end board turn 1, just by using Grave Ghost alone, is it can be it can be nasty. It can be hella nasty. And what's even more cool is that you can also use Zombie World in this deck as well, as a way to literally stop your opponent from doing everything. Like Zombie World stops everything, which is nasty, absolutely nasty. Next up, we've got Stare of the Snake Hair. Try saying that 5 times fast. Quite the tongue twister. But Snake Hair is a 6-star dark zombie with 1500 attack, 1200 defense. And the effect reads as follows. You can discard this card, add 1 Call of the Haunted or a spell trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls. That face-up monster cannot attack, its effects are negated, and it cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, exceeds, or link summon. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, think about this. It's literally it's 1-for-1 spell trap Rhoda with the effect of Fiendish Chain and Dimensional Barrier. Enough said. Literally 1-for-1 spell and trap Rhoda, Fiendish Chain, Dimensional Barrier rolled into 1 card. Into 1 monster card, which is a 1500 body. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say the zombies might end up making their way back into the meta, and it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. I will say though, I will say though, you are gonna have to set a different back row to ensure that your Call of the Haunted stays live. Because if you end up setting Call of the Haunted with Radiant Typhoon now being the new meta, as I found out from the case tournament yesterday at Bear Cave, which I did get a couple of pickups from Bear Cave. Some of them are in decks already, but I'll show you one of the cards. Some of the cards I picked up from Bear Cave. So I did pick up Ash Blossom, but their boxes, they had like 6 of these. So I literally picked up all 6 copies. I picked up a second copy of White's King Solomon. I picked this card up, which this card is actually really good in DDs. I picked up 2 copies of this. And then, of course, 3 Trap Tricks, 3 different rarities. And then the big hitters, Whoop. Hold up. There we go. The big hitters, I picked up SP Little Knight, Change of Heart, Original Metal Raiders, and then I also picked this up. From Rarity Collection, from Rarity Collection 2, I picked up Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, obviously for my Dark Magician deck, which I'm slowly picking up the pieces for it, but I'm still missing quite a few components. So hopefully I can get my hands on them. I think it was SP that I needed DM. It was either that or IP was one or the other, but I'll have to take a look once this video gets posted. So I think it was SP. I could be wrong, but I am missing quite a few cards for the deck. There's a lot of cards I'm missing. A lot of cards I'm missing, but shout outs to my man Billy from Bear Cave CCG, located in Northridge, California. If you guys have not checked out Bear Cave CCG, I highly recommend you guys check them out. Be sure to look for Billy and let him know that I sent you. The dude is super chill. Everybody that works there is incredible, and who knows? Maybe you might see me working with them. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. You never know. But again, big shout outs to Billy from Bear Cave. Hopefully next Sunday there'll be more good cards that I can pick up. Maybe some pre-my cards. Who knows? But moving on. But yeah, Radiant Typhoon was one of the decks that I saw at Bear Cave, and it's interesting because it's interesting because the Radiant Typhoon archetype revolves around mystical Space Typhoon being an actual negate. So it's kind of cool that a lot of these different old school cards for from the days of Go format, Edison format, and shit are all being used as actual meta staples, which is insane, absolutely insane. But this card right here, Snake Hair, is again it's Spell and Trap Rhoda. It's literally a 1-for-1 Spell and Trap Rhoda. It's Fiendish Chain and Dimensional Barrier rolled up in one card, which is insane. Who knows? Maybe Change of Heart might end up getting its own archetype, which even that would be pretty cool. And also, and funny thing, Change of Heart. It's Change of Heart. It is such a nasty card. Imagine that card being used in Go format. Imagine that. Yeah, certainly not me. Anyway, next up we have Great Mammoth of the Netherworld, which is a 6-star Dark Zombie, 2200 attack, 1800 defense, and the effects read as follow. If this card is special summoned and you control a Call of the Haunted or a zombie monster except this card, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. A zombie exceeds monster that has this card as material gains this effect, gains 1000 attack. Okay. So here's what's really interesting about this, right? Think about this. Grave Ghost effect, reveal it, set Call of the Haunted, discard Great Mammoth, then go Call of the Haunted, bring back Great Mammoth, then go Army of the Haunted effect, special summon it from your hand. Now you have 2 Xyz monsters that you can go into, and one of them will have Great Mammoth as the material, so it will gain the additional 1,000 attack, which one of them is most likely going to be this, which I'm going to reveal its name and show off the art, and we'll get to its effect here in a second. So, Pumpking, the Great Ghost King, 6-star. Rank 6, Dark Zombie Xyz, 2,400 attack, 2,600 defense. Which requires 2 level 6 zombies. So, because that you would summon Ghost King using Great Mammoth as the material, its attack would go up to 3,400, which is kind of cracked. But Ghost King's effect reads as follows. While you control Call of the Haunted, your opponent cannot target zombie monsters you control with monster effects. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Call of the Haunted or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. You can detach 1 material from this card, target up to 2 cards on the field, return them to the hand. It's basically double compulse, which is double compulse, it is nasty. It is nasty. You're literally bouncing 2 of your opponent's busted cards back to their hand, which theoretically, yes, you could use this deck against decks like Radiant Typhoon and Yummy Fiendsmith, which now apparently Fiendsmith, as we saw from the YCS this past weekend in Dormant, apparently Fiendsmith Yummy is back. Yummy's back with Fiendsmith. Who would have ever imagined? Who would have ever imagined, right? Certainly not me. Again, it's double compulse. It has protection, and you get to add a Call of the Haunted or any card that mentions it to your hands, which is insane. Not much else to say about that, and it's really cool because this deck, you have ways to essentially just use the double compulse effect and then rank up into a potential rank 7, which there is a rank 7 that you can summon using Ghost King as the material. Which brings us to the next card, which is known as the Undying Legion. And yes, that is the actual name of the card. Yep, that's the name of the card, which is a rank 7 Dark Zombie Xyz, 2,700 attack, 0 defense, and it requires 2 level 7 monsters, but it also says that once per turn you can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 6 Zombie Xyz monster you control, transfer its materials. During your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, or just 1 material if all this card's materials are Xyz monsters. Target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls or a monster in their grave, attach it to this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Honestly, that's kind of insane because against Xyz heavy base decks like Sharks, Utopia, Galaxy Eyes, just to name a few. This card can be very nasty, and it can be just as nasty as just as nasty as this card. I actually have it in my DD deck. which I picked it up from Collectible Exchange in Rancho. So shout outs to them. This guy, yeah, kind of crazy, how Divisor King Des Machinex can be a nasty card, and Undying Legion, excuse me, basically has that same mentality, which is kind of insane. Kind of insane. Yeah, I mean you're basically this. It basically acts as a disruption. Enough said. Enough said. Next up. Next up, we have Call of the Forgotten. Which is obviously the deck's field spell, and the effects read as follow. When this card is activated, you can set up to 3 Call the Haunted from your deck and or grave, and if you do, until the end of your opponent's turn, you cannot special summon except for zombies or monsters from the grave. Once per turn, if you activate Call of the Haunted, you can target a monster your opponent controls, send it to the grave. You can only activate 1 Call of the Forgotten per turn. Honestly, that's kind of insane because you're literally you're not popping your opponent's board. You're just removing them, and that actually makes all the difference because of the fact that because of the fact that with the game states being pretty quick, removing your opponent's board one piece at a time is a lot better than popping them, because when you're popping them, your opponent gets to interact with your board to ensure that they keep theirs. So this card can be really useful, absolutely nasty. And what's cool about this is that because that Call of the Haunted isn't a once per turn, you can just activate all 3 Call of the Haunted, summon out 3 guys, and you're pretty much just off to the races from there, which is kind of cracked. Next up, we have Ectoplasmic Fortification, which, funny enough, that was the name of Pumpking's effect. Very funny. But it is a normal spell, and the effect reads as follows. Activate one of these effects. If you control no monsters, add 1 level 6 zombie monster or 1 Call of the Forgotten from your deck to your hand. Zombie monsters you control gain 400 attack, then you can draw cards equal to the number of Call of the Haunted you control. You can only activate 1 Ectoplasmic Fortification per turn. Yeah, so, it can either be a Rhoda, or it can be a Pot of Greed. Enough said. Just that, literally that's it. Literally that's it. So it's basically Rhoda terraforming with a potential Pot of Greed or a Graceful Charity, but you don't have to discard cards from your hands, which is kind of crazy. The only card that you're technically discarding is obviously this card, but that's like nothing. So, yeah, that's kind of cracked. Enough said. Next up, we have Vortex of Time. Which is a quick play spell, and the effect reads as follow, which is a once per turn. And it reads, when your opponent activates a normal or quick play spell or effect, or a monster effect while you control a zombie monster, and Call the Haunted, except during the damage step. Your opponent tosses a coin, and their activated effect becomes the following effect. Heads, your opponent must banish one monster they control. Tails, you must banish all monsters you control. Yeah. So you're literally risking your board for, just to banish a monster that they potentially have. Yep, that's actually kind of insane, and it's pretty risky too, because obviously the odds of getting heads in a coin toss, obviously we know is 50-50. So the fact that this card relies on a coin toss is kind of insane. But what's interesting is that most people really don't use coins in Yu-Gi-Oh. I know that there are a lot of cards that say toss a coin. Most people just roll dice, which is kind of crazy. So they would go odds would be heads, even would be tails. And if you roll a die and it comes up and it comes up a 1, that basically counts as head, and your opponent has no choice but to banish a monster that they control, which for the most part they're going to end up choosing their potential garnet, if you will. They're going to choose like their one of, or their main like combo starter, just so they can continue their combo. So would I recommend playing this card? I don't think so. I don't think I would play it, but I could probably see it be played as like a one of or something. That brings us to the final card of the video, and it is known as Deadly Zombie Breath, which was the name of the Dragon Zombies attack, which is a normal trap, and the effects, all of its effects are a hard once per turn. The first effect reads: if you control a zombie monster and Call the Haunted, target one monster your opponent controls, send it to the grave. If you control a zombie monster, you can banish this card from your grave, target a face-up monster you control and a face-up card your opponent controls, send them to the grave. So it really doesn't matter. It like doesn't matter. You're basically sending literally 2 cards your opponent controls to the grave, at the cost of you sending a card from your board to your graveyard, which is pretty insane. Honestly, Pumpkin getting its own archetype is nuts. I can honestly see zombies. I can honestly see zombies making its way into the meta. Which we could potentially see it break the meta right now with with the decks like Radiant Typhoon. Mitsurugi is still running rampant, sort of. So there are quite a few decks that can definitely use up that can be really busted. There are a few decks, but this deck right here definitely is going to be making its way into the meta 100%. And I think we're supposed to be getting this in the next couple of months. I want to say in the next couple of months. So I'm definitely gonna be getting my hands on a box. I'm gonna do an opening of it. Hopefully we get some good polls, but we'll just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.